Hello everybody. I am so excited to share this project with you. I haven't done a crazy quilting in a long time, but I thought how fun this would be for our scrappy pieces. And when we have little pieces of batting and we have scraps, then we could make these and then later incorporate them into other things. I think that would be cool. I think I'm going to make this and it's going to become one of the centers of my quilt that I'm making right now. And so you can see what I've done. I've taken a piece of the batting and I've taken my scrap pieces and I've laid them in there in kind of a crazy quilt pattern, okay? Now, I'm going to do embellishment with fibers and yarns and different things that I've got here, scraps of stuff that I have. And then also I will be adding a little embroidery, but you can do it all with embroidery. You can do it all with other types of trims, or you can combine them. So whatever you're comfortable with doing. Now you see I've put these on here. And how I like to do it in a small piece like this is I like to position it out and then look at it. This is kind of like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, because I want to kind of start in the center, and the pieces where I need to tuck under, I want to do that first. So this first piece here, now none of this is sewn yet. I put a little piece of trim. Now this trim is lace, but I wanted little lace here, and what I had was this. So as you can see, it really has a natural line to cut on, and when I do that, I end up with a little narrow piece. So if I need the big one, I've got it, but I can cut it and make the little ones that I need. And that's what I wanted to do right here. Now this, I want to tuck it under and bring it out and catch the edge of this black. And I'm going to just do this with a running stitch. I want that to go under there. There we go. All right. We're just going to bring it down this edge of this black and close that edge. All of these scraps are they're not turned. They're all raw edges. So they will need something like I'm doing now, a trim of some kind, or perhaps some stitching, extra stitching of some kind. Whatever each type of fabric needs is what I'll try to give it. I'm using green thread on this because I'm trying to tie it in a little bit with the green that it's laying over. Okay, that's looking good so far. Let's just keep going. Down that edge. What I'm using right now, 4 strands of embroidery floss, and that's because I want to be able to see really well the thread, the color of it, and so I need it to be a little bolder than the usual 2 strands that I use. Okay. This is catching the raw edge, covering that, the black fabric, and securing that, and the lace at the same time. We'll get one more under this piece here. Keep it in place. Okay, now I also want to secure this edge down here. So I think what I will do, let's see, I have a dip in between each of these. I think I will just take and overcast that dip area in between each point. Okay. Again, that gives the green thread a chance to show. Coordinate that. Now this part of embellishing and deciding how to stitch and what to put on it, that's all just personal preference and guided by what you have on hand. And use what you have. As you'll see, that's what I'm going to do. If I have some laces, fine. If I don't, I'll use some fabric scraps, yarn, whatever I need to do is what I'll do. Okay, to do this crazy quilting type work here. Okay, that looks kind of cool, doesn't it? All right. And while we've got the green thread, let's just, what do we want to do here? Let's put a French knot in the middle. I'm going to wrap it twice because I've got 4 strands of thread. I think that's enough. Yeah. And we'll just put a little French knot in the middle of each of these little scallop points. 1, 2. And that will hold those down and give us a little decoration at the same time. That's an embroidery stitch, French knot. Very easy. It's a little workhorse of a stitch because you can use it everywhere on everything. All right, now that's all that's going to show right along there, but I like that. You know, that's a nice little embellishment on that inside piece right there. That one's done. Now let's see what we might do with this point because it's also going under, so we need to figure out something to do with that. And I'm thinking I have a little piece of just torn strip of fabric, but I'm thinking that I could tuck that under. Let me pin it so it'll stay. Then I could twist it and turn it a little bit tighter here and couch it. And then I could turn it and do the same thing. And I would have a little bit of trim that's scrappy, just a little bit, but it's textury. And I like that, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use the same green that I've got to couch that with. So we're going to come up, and the first stitch is going to go back under and through that fabric so that it keeps it down for sure. Then we'll come back up again in the same place, and we'll just couch it over. Just like it was a piece of yarn or trim we wanted to couch over. Oh man, somehow I got it wrapped around that. Let's take the pin out and go again. All right, there we go. So now we'll get us a little space here and do that again. I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle, not straight across. I don't want you over that. Okay, that's looking good. Come down again. Again, what we're doing is we are embellishing, but we are using the embellishment to enclose the raw edge of that piece of fabric. Okay, that's going to be good. Now we need to turn it, so we need to twist it and then turn it. And as we do, we need to make the little point here. So let's get that up in there, and we will come over that edge and down a little bit. Good, 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 good. All right, now we'll get the next part and down a little bit. And the next. All right, now let's see what we need to do here. We need to tuck it under, but we don't need a great big bunch. We just need to take that. Your tweezers will come out very handy for this kind of stuff. Tuck it under. And make the last couching stitch. And I'm going to make two right here on the end just to make sure that I keep it in place. I'm not too worried about it because I will be doing something with this edge and that will catch it too. But isn't that a cute embellishment? And it's just a stringy piece of scrap, okay? So you don't have to have a bunch of expensive trims. You can make a bunch out of your own stuff, as I will be hopefully showing you along as I work on these. Okay. All right. That's our beginning. All right. Let's see what we're going to do next. Let's look and see where the progress has been going. We did this little lace down through here. Remember, I'm trying to start with those pieces that are underneath other pieces, and so this edge definitely was underneath everything else. Then this edge here was also, and we used just a excuse me, allergies got my voice all rough. We just twisted it up and overcast it and made a decorative edge on that. Now I just finished this little piece down through here. Let me bring that up so you can see that well. That's a little piece of burlap. I pulled out a few strands so I could get a fringed edge on that edge. Then I overcast from this side and the other side, and then did a back stitch all the way down the center. It is secure. It is not going to unravel on me, but what a pretty and nice texture that is, and very different. So we've used a scrap piece of lace, we've used a scrap piece of fabric, and we've used a scrap piece of burlap. since you know, if you've watched this channel, that I am all about using our scraps in every way that we can. The tiniest, you know, our biggest, whatever we've got. Here is some of the scraps that I've pulled out of my little scrap buckets. And I'm thinking that these are small enough and I can incorporate them. They're different. I don't know exactly where they're going yet, but I think I can get them in. And a couple of bright colored floss that I could do a little bit of decorative stitching with. I think I'm going to start with this blue and work on this piece right here. Like I said earlier, you can do this all with trims, or you can do it all with embroidery, or you can mix the two, which is what I'm doing. And, you know, just do what you want to do as long as you can do it. You don't have to know a whole bunch of embroidery stitches. The only embroidery stitch I've used so far is the little French knots. And so they are easy to learn. The other stitching has been just straight stitching, back stitching, and overcast stitching. Those are the 3 stitches so far that I've used. The first thing I'm going to do on this blue piece is I'm going to just straight stitch down the edges to secure it good and stable, and then see what I might do with thread along the edges there. So let's get my thread all straightened out here. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I need an assistant to sit next to me and thread needles. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, that'd be wonderful. Yeah. I wonder if they got an AI that'll thread needles. If you know of one, send me the link. Okay, let's just do let's see how we want to do this. Let's do it from the inside. Let's just scoot these over a little bit and do a running stitch close to the edge. To secure this down. All my scraps I leave raw edged. I'm not turning any of them. So that means that in some form, I need to secure them. Now that does not mean that there might not be a little fraying or a little ruffling on some of them, but that's okay, because I personally love raw edges and what happens to them with use over time. I don't want them coming apart. I don't want them coming undone. I want them to be securely attached. But I love it when things fray and kind of get ruffly, kind of fringe out. I love that look. And so that's one of the reasons why I stay primarily with raw edges when I work. If you don't like raw edges and that really bothers you, you can needle turn your pieces like applique and tuck them under and sew them down that way before you do any decorative thing. Me, I think that's a whole lot of work that a lot of it just gets covered up, but since we each have our own way and there is no right or wrong, there's just different. It's okay, whatever you want to do. And I'm doing this, I can make straighter stitches when I do, you know, up and down like this rather than the just a running stitch. I tend to not keep my running stitches as straight as I do when I'm doing it this way. So however you want to do that too, it's just totally up to you. Now, did I get that in there? I think I did. Just don't make a loop out of it. Oh, I'm telling you, I can mess up the simplest things. Let's twist it. All right, there we go. There we go. Got it back on track. Let me take that out. It's a pretty blue thread on this piece of fabric. Doing a crazy quilt style slow stitch just gives us another way to give a different look or style to our work. You know, we can all do patchwork, and we can do a whole lot of collaging and things like that. So sometimes just changing up how we're doing it gives us the different look that we want for a project, and also keeps us learning. It keeps us agile and progressive. I'm always on every project, since I am using scraps, challenging myself always, because when you're using scraps, you're having to adapt, make do, tweak, all kinds of stuff. And but it is so much fun. And when you throw out the perfectionism and allow yourself just to create, it becomes not difficult at all. You're just challenged when it comes to design. What do I want to do with this piece? You know, it's like, okay, these odd little pieces over here. What am I going to do with them? Well, I don't know yet, but we're going to figure it out, and we're going to use them. And so that's the fun part. The other part of that, which is so cool, is that we are reclaiming and using things that normally would be trash. So we're adding to the sustainability of our planet by just using up our scraps. And when we run out of them, we go get some stuff that people would throw away, clean out our closets, go to the thrift store, wherever, and find some more scraps. That's very easy to do where I live. I don't know if it is for everybody else, but where I live here in Northeast Texas, USA, it's very easy to do that. Okay, I got that stitched. Isn't that cool? That looks cool. Now, what I want to do, I want to go over these edges a little bit. So, I think I'm going to go, I think I will go, let's see. I'm just going to overcast every other opening, I think. Overcast that opening, leaving that one alone and going here. And then this one will end up in the corner. So we're catching those edges again. We're going to skip one and go over here. This is all, by the way, I don't have this planned out. This is just intuitive. Whatever feels right at the time, okay? I don't have a plan when I'm doing this. I decide in the moment what color thread I'm going to use, how I'm going to stitch, or if I'm going to stitch. Everything is in the moment. Again, that's how I like to stitch. If you need to plan it out, please do so. Whatever takes the stress out of it for you. Remember that slow stitching is about relaxation, designing without guilt or pressure, and just enjoying the moment. None of us have too many of those kind of moments in our life. Okay, now what I'm going to do is come from the outside on those that I skipped, and I'm going to make a pistol stitch. A pistol stitch is nothing but a French knot with a long stem. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, but I'm going to stretch it way up here. Hold the tension and bring it in. This gives me what looks like a little flower on a long stem, okay? So now we are going back and doing this on all the spaces we left open. Stretch it up. Keep your tension on your thread. I like to, so that my little knot comes out pretty tight. Okay. Okay. Isn't he cute? He's cute. What am I got here? Little threads coming from underneath. Okay. All right, where's our next opening? Right there. And I decided to go from outside in because they're going to show up better. The fabrics on the outside are quite busy, and they would not show up as well. It doesn't matter whether you go inside out or outside in, you're still overcasting that raw edge, and that is also part of the plan. Set him here next to that one. Okay. Let me just go up here. For me, that's my reasoning as to why I'm deciding to do what I'm doing. Like I said, all these decisions are made as I go. They're not planned out. These are not difficult stitches. And you learn just few little embroidery stitches, and you can do beautiful work with just 5 or 6 stitches under your belt. Okay, now we have to, let's see, that one, we have to get over here and put one the other direction. Okay, I think I have 2 left. Okay, so here's one. Now, of course, I'm working on a small piece right here, but if you wanted to make a larger piece, that would be fine too. Also, you can do these small pieces and then attach them, and like a quilt, blocks and things like that. Put that one back under there, and make something bigger out of it. I'm going to use this as a center of one of my blocks that I'm doing for my current quilt that I'm working on. So I kept it in the size that I would need. Isn't that cool? I think that's so cool. Let me bring it up so you can see it better. Just simple. Simple, simple. Okay. Let's tie that off. Let's go over here. Well, there it goes. Somehow or another, I got a knot on a knot. I couldn't do that if I really was trying. Okay. Get rid of that thread. All right, there's another piece set in. We have this edge trim, this one, and now this one. And since that one went under this one, we will be doing this one now. It goes under this piece over here. So we can do that one. And then when we lay that one in, that'll be completely done. So the center now is secured. Okay, can you see that well? The center is secured. The edges are secure. All right. Okay, so we'll begin on the next one on the part 2 video, which will be another video. That'll give you a little time if you want to pull yours out and play along with me. Make you something with a crazy quilt style. Until then, stay scrub happy.